What's up, guys? Welcome to Among the Fence, my YouTube channel writing music reviews. My name is Aaron, and today we're going to be talking about the new self-titled album by the band Rings of Saturn. For those of you who don't know who they are a technical death metal band from California, started around 2009, and this is their sixth studio album. And I gotta admit that I've always had a hard time getting into Rings of Saturn due to the robotic nature of their music. Plus, everything they do is just extreme all the time. There really is no chill with this band. And the vocals have also been kind of hit or miss for me as well. The highs or lows. The vocal tone has just always been kind of okay. However, this is going to be their instrumental album, their first one. I mean, they have done instrumental versions of their past albums, but this is going to be the one that it doesn't have any vocals in it whatsoever. So I don't know if that's going to help or not. It depends on how similar their music is to how it's always been in the past, or if they're going to change it up completely. If it's just as extreme as it's always been, I still feel like I'm going to have a hard time with it, just because it's a 30-minute long album. I don't know if I can handle 30 minutes of blast beats and just insane shredding guitar work, so we'll have to see. The album opens up with the song Shrine, which has this really chill synthetic beat to it. I think everything but the guitars in the song is MIDI, which has this acoustic lute kind of sound. Even at times it sounds like a harp. And then there's like this awkward, abrupt transition about a minute in where the electric guitars come in. It gets pretty crazy, but it has a really good rhythm part to it. Then it transitions back to the mellow section again with a very familiar sounding melody, and then it finishes off with some robotic blast beats. Then we have the song Kronos, which starts out the same kind of way as Shrine, but with the electric guitar playing over the synth beat and the acoustic guitar. Then there's another abrupt transition with some really bad sounding drums that makes everything super intense. The harmonies sound pretty good. I mean, the drum work kind of takes away from the experience for me, and things pick up about the 30-minute mark, but then the drums again just take away from this moment. It becomes very theatrical with the piano piece, it sounds like, which sounds really good. Again, it's probably just synth. And then there's a guitar solo in the outro. It's a very strange progression of songs. The song Ascending has this inspiring kind of intro with some quick guitar work, which is very impressive, but I don't know, it doesn't sound too great. All the synth stuff is, again, it's very distracting. Then it breaks out into chaos with some I mean, the drums do sound better in this part, and the melodies do sound really cool as well. At this point, though, everything is kind of becoming predictable. You can kind of see where it's going to go, and it all kind of sounds the same. Then we have the song Genesis, which kind of throws you through a loop. It starts out with a quick drum beat and piano. That sounds great. It sounds good even when the stronger synth beat comes in. And the melody that's kind of X-Files-ish starts quickening up and becomes pretty inspiring and uplifting. Almost like, I don't know, a movie soundtrack. Like the music would play at the credits of like Batman or Matrix or something like that. Mind Palace is quite the opposite, though, as it sounds like the intro to a movie with its monk-style chants and pounding drums, and then its soaring guitar comes in, adds a little bit of suspense until it erupts into a blazing guitar riff and more blast beats, and then it comes to a very abrupt stop. Then the rhythm gets bubbly, and then it changes and gets super chunky, and it comes to another abrupt end for a piano piece and more suspenseful pounding drums. The melody at this point kind of reminds me of, like, I don't know, the Harry Potter theme. And then the song goes completely crazy again in the outro. And then it goes into the sixth song, Sector 80, which is like a 14-second instrumental thing that's just kind of there. It doesn't really do anything. Honestly, the album would feel exactly the same if it wasn't there. So this section just feels, I don't know, it feels very pointless. Amidst all this chaos, we have 14 seconds worth of song that could have just been tacked on to the end or the beginning of any of these other songs that don't really have a very solid song structure or any rhyme or reason of how they flow into different sections of the song. Yet we found a place to just throw this in there, which is kind of weird to me. And I don't know, I heard it and then it went on to songs that I was just very confused when I saw that this song is just 14 seconds. Then we have the closing track, Shinigami, which is probably my favorite song on the album. It has a thick bass line with 3 capital C's and a chiming guitar. It sounds like something Polyphia would write, which isn't a bad thing, especially when the song gets serious though. Like the melody is so sick, as is the main riff, and it feels kind of video game inspired, like Zelda or something. And the drums sound so much better in the song, specifically in the breakdown section. It just sounds it doesn't sound completely real, but it doesn't sound like something that was made on a computer as well. And then the bass line gets taken over by a guitar that's like, I don't know, 5 octaves higher, and it just sounds so good. If they did more of this and less synth stuff, this album would probably be a whole lot better for sure. It was kind of hard for me to find like the good in this album. I mean, it's not super technical death metal robot sounding, but at the same time it is pretty robotic sounding. They also learned how to chill, but at times I feel like they chilled a little bit too much and they lost the spirit of Rings of Saturn, of what the band is and what it's supposed to be. And they changed their sound up a little bit too much, I think. The musicianship in this is still great as ever, and the production sounds good. It isn't overly compressed, which is something that could easily happen, considering that most of this stuff is done on a computer. As far as the stuff I don't like, I mean, the drums are just, they're horrible. I'm pretty sure they used a drum machine for every single thing. Like I said before, I think that the guitar is the only thing that was real in this. And at this point, I feel like if you go and see one of their shows, they're just going to be plugging a laptop in and just setting it down on a chair and just pushing buttons, and it's just all going to play. And maybe the guitar player might do something. The songwriting wasn't all that enjoyable either. There's a lot of awkward transitions, like they didn't really know what to do next. So blast beats and let's just shred. That's basically the only answer that we get. Then, I mean, the beginning of this album, it had like royalty-free blast beats that were just taken off of the internet. I mean, they moved from being like a death metal, deathcore band to like MIDI core. And like I said, they just lost the spirit of the band, I think. And this is their first album as an instrumental. So you got to cut them a little bit of slack on that, because I don't know. They're still experimenting. They're going to try and find a way to make the instrumental side of this work. And I don't know how well that's going to work. It might take some time. But I will say that they need a vocalist. They definitely need a vocalist. So with all that said, I got to give the self-titled album by Rings of Saturn a 4 out of 10. But I want to know what you guys think. Like I said before, I wasn't really all that into Rings of Saturn. Like, I appreciated them, but it was just too much for me. Like, I didn't really dislike anything about their songwriting or anything about their music. It was just too extreme for me, for sure. And now they went, I feel like, the other direction with it. And I don't know. I would like to hear what fans of this band are saying about this new style. So yeah, leave a comment below letting me know what you thought of the self-titled album, what you would rate it, and let me know what your favorite song is. And while you're down there, also let me know what I should review next. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like. If you want to help support me and my channel and you want to see more of my videos, you don't want to miss out, please consider subscribing and ringing the bell icon. Doing any of that stuff helps me out just so much, and I appreciate you guys taking time out of your day to listen to me talk, and I hope you have a good rest of your day or night whenever you happen to be watching this, and I will talk to you guys next time.
I was trying